Hello and welcome back to the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational League. I am the Crushinator and I will be your caster for this evening. Hope you're having a good night tonight. Hope you're ready for some Heroes of the Storm. Tonight I've got Lubu versus Zul'jin Distillery, the host of this here Invitational League. And it looks like our teams are going to be almost ready to go. So we get going here in just a moment. I'm going to take you over to the map screen real quick, let you know how we got to where we got to. So Lubu did win the opening toss and chose first pick. Alan Hicks, the captain here, choosing to ban away Sky Temple and Dragonshire, where Zul'jin Distillery banned away Battlefield of Eternity and Volskaya Foundry. Game number 1, chosen by XGD, is actually going to be on Braxis Holdout, and the draft is ready. So let's get right into it. Lubu has the first ban here. Taking a look at Zul'jin Distillery's main picks. I don't believe they've played Braxis this season. Braxis is it's a different kind of map for sure. 2-lane map, not wanting to commit too heavily into sort of a rotational play, but very important you're a solo laner. Lubu's actually going to ban away Mei here. Mei, actually the most played tank of Alan Hicks, so interesting that they would choose to ban that. And ETC is going to be banned out in response. These are really our top tier tanks after the latest tank patch settled. So not too surprising to see those bans. I'm wondering if we're going to see any solo laner bans here. There are a couple that are very strong in the top lane, Rexxar particularly. They're going to ban away the Cassia, though. Neither team has played Rexxar so far this season, but I believe Cowboy Kyle on Zul'jin Distillery has that in their arsenal. Kael'thas is going to be banned away by XGD. That has been played multiple times by Lubu so far this season. Wanting to get rid of that wave clear mage makes a lot of sense to me. Johanna is open, though Johanna has lost a fairly significant amount of power here. Suikoden is going to grab the Deckard. Now, one thing to note about Lubu, they've been flip-flopping their roles just a little bit as the season has started here. Normally, I'd expect to see Streakwing on a Deckard, but we're going to see Suikoden playing it. DeWitt is going to grab Garrosh and Ankle Shot on Orphea. Alan Hicks snapping that Johanna pick. Johanna's still very strong in the wave clear department, and that is very important here on Braxis Holdout to keep that lane pushing in the correct direction so you can control those points. And Bandit is going to grab a Gul'dan. Interesting. Gul'dan very, very strong in the wave clear department, but I find personally on Braxis Holdout he has some trouble retreating. He kind of has to go all in on those points. So that's kind of a feast or famine coming out here from Bandit. Orphea, not so much in the wave clear department, but very, very strong at dueling on these points. Imperius going to be banned away by XGD. Not too surprising there. Imperius is pretty much the S-tier solo laner right now in most circumstances, unless wave clear is what you need. So they're going to ban that away. And in response, there's the Rexxar ban, so Cowboy Kyle will not be able to bring out the Lone Hunter today. We've got the solo laner, we've got the healer, and another DPS. I'm expecting XGD to hold their solo lane pick to the last, which means we'd be getting a damage and a healer out next. We'll see what they're going to be picking up here. Ana is definitely a possibility coming out from Led. Be Fresh playing that favored Tychus, and Led is actually going to grab the Lucio. Both of them have played these heroes multiple times so far in this season. I'm a little surprised to see the Lucio. Lucio's lack of wave clear is very significant. In fact, their wave clear in general is not looking too hot, so they're really going to have to control these points. Lubu is going to grab Greymane and Leoric here. Coming out from Cowboy Kyle. You know, I think I might like to see a Ragnaros come out from Cowboy Kyle. That helps a whole lot in the wave clear department. I think he's a good dueler versus the Leoric. Keeps up the wave clear. And just being able to use that Molten Core and possibly Lava Wave. Very strong. Instead, it's going to be Urel. Going to try to bully that Leoric off the point. Okay, so we've got a very, very heavy wave clear comp on the side of Lubu versus probably a better dueling and pick comp coming out from XGD. So it's really going to come down to who can control the waves and who can control the points. The game number 1, Lubu versus Zul'jin Distillery, is coming at you right now. Let's get it loaded up. All right, loading in here to game number 1. I'm taking a look here. I don't know, this is really going to come down to execution. I think Lubu's got the easier draft to play, but if they slip up and fall into the trap of XGD, they're just going to lose heroes and lose the points. So we're going to have to see how this turns out. This is going to be a close matchup here. We're looking to get into draft, or game number 1 is loading in here. Here we go. Loading on in. On the left, in the blue, we have Lubu with Alan Hicks playing the Johanna. Streakwing is going to be on Greymane. Spoticus on that Leoric. Suikoden will be playing the Deckard, and Bandit is going to be on Gul'dan. On the right, in the red, we have Zul'jin Distillery with Cowboy Kyle playing that Urel. Led on the Lucio. Ankleshot is going to be playing Orphea. DeWitt on the Garrosh, and Be Fresh bringing up the rear on the Tychus. Alright, game number 1 is underway. We're going to be clashing here in the bottom lane. Spoticus on Leoric is actually going to stay down here in the bottom lane for now, so Urel will be alone in the top, possibly looking for a quick gank. Is Leoric. Normally we see those solo laners go straight to the top. DeWitt's going to get a throw here onto Johanna, but the Unstoppable is out. Led is rooted in the back by Deckard. DeWitt going to have to try to scoot on out of there. Here comes Spoticus. The chase from Leoric will not prove fruitful. And Urel is getting some free clear in the top lane. We'll see if Leoric can get there in time. Deckard is actually going to head on up there as well. We've got a very interesting rotation coming out here from Lubu, as we see 2 players are going to be rotating onto Urel here. That does leave a 4v3 in the bottom lane. DeWitt looking for Bandit here, does find the Gul'dan. Gul'dan with no mobility at all is going to get stunned and taken out by Be Fresh. First blood of the game goes over to Zul'jin Distillery. Meanwhile, Deckard has come on down to the bottom lane, leaving 2 potions up there for Leoric that's going to really help out in that matchup versus Urel. Streakwing is actually going to get thrown in by the Garrosh. A nice stun by DeWitt. Can they find Streakwing? Oh, Johanna. Very nice job by Alan Hicks to get Streakwing on out of there. But these beacons are now coming up. A nice blind on Tychus. Going to try to evade the Johanna. The team being zoned away by Alan Hicks. Though that trait from Tychus very, very strong. The percent damage taking out Johanna. That Iron Skin was barely not available there. That's going to give Zul'jin Distillery the possible time that they need, and there's the throw, and there's the kill. Greymane's going to go down, and Zul'jin Distillery is going to lose a bit of time on this point. So far, Leoric doing very well in this matchup. Still has those 2 potions to use, but Cowboy Kyle's going to control that point for now, and Greymane will have to make their way back to the field here. Orphea trying to control this bottom vision. DeWitt sharking around, looking for those throws. Pretty much anybody except Johanna at this point is a great throw target. Be Fresh is going to ward away Suikoden, but here comes Alan Hicks, and the rest of Zul'jin Distillery is going to try to collapse. Very important is the positioning of Lubu here. DeWitt gets the throw onto Johanna. Is the Iron Skin available? It doesn't look like it. Alan Hicks is in trouble, and Johanna going down here once again. Leoric did grab that top point versus Urel. Cowboy Kyle trying to ward him out of there. It looks like Zul'jin Distillery will be picking up the first Zerg wave of the game. DeWitt looking for a throw there, managing to catch a minion. Bandit, oh, has less than 100 health, manages to just barely evade the Garrosh Q and will stay alive. Now this is where Gul'dan is going to head to the top lane to try to get a very fast clear on this objective. DeWitt barely missing out on the stun onto Alan Hicks. The rest of the team's going to head on up here, and the clear is going to be super, super strong. Very little going to get done with this first objective besides a damaged front wall in the top lane. So this is where I think Lubu's composition comes out ahead. When they lose the point, they're going to be able to get rid of things very quickly, as Alan Hicks is going to get thrown in, but the follow-up stun not quite there. Johanna is going to walk away just fine. The off-lane push is actually getting more done here than the full Zerg wave. A quick route there onto DeWitt. Looks like Ankle Shot should be able to get out of there. There they go. Planting the Q and scooting on back. Bandit's going to get caught by Garrosh, going to get thrown back. That's a whole lot of trouble, and Gul'dan going down once again. Ankle Shot's in the thick of it. Greymane diving in, Streakwing, getting that counter kill onto Orphea. Very nicely done. Leoric actually coming on down to try to help out is going to give Yrel enough time to push down this top wall. Leoric on the way back here, but it looks like Cowboy Kyle is going to retreat, doesn't want to take any extra damage. Another throw there onto Alan Hicks, but this time the Iron Skin is available and Johanna will walk free. Zul'jin Distillery looking onto the enemy camp here, not wanting to give that away for free. It looks like they will just concede and move on to their own bruiser camp on the left. Leoric coming on down to help with this camp clear is going to start the bruiser camp in the top. This is a very standard trade here on Braxis Holdout. Come about level 7. Teams are going to trade out their camps, get them pushing, and basically clear them out without much fuss. Be Fresh getting some extra damage onto Alan Hicks. Here comes DeWitt, lands the stun here. The Unstoppable there just in time. That's another 25 seconds until Johanna can use that again. A similar collapse here onto Cowboy Kyle. Yrel's going to be just fine. Here comes the Bruisers in the bottom lane. 20 more seconds until the beacons become active again. XGD is going to rotate to their Hellbat camp. Or are they? Are they going for a gank here? Spoticus could be in trouble. The stun landed by DeWitt. The Unstoppable Wraithwalk is there, and the length is just enough. Leoric will get on out of there. Very nicely played, and the rest of Lubu is going to take the opportunity to push this bottom wall. That missed gank, they're going to miss out on some XP here. They're going to miss out on some progress on the point. Grabbing this camp along the way before heading down to contest this fight. DeWitt is here. Looking for a possible throw, but they're going to have to clean up this bottom lane first before they take any engages. Taking a look at the XP here, we do see a slight lead for XGD, mostly brought in by hero kills. Actually, pretty much even on minions and mercenaries. It's really just those extra picks in the early game that are bringing about this XP difference. DeWitt wanting to throw anybody but Johanna, circling around. Very nice positioning by Lubu, but DeWitt zoning them out is going to grab some percentage here for Zul'jin Distillery. Ankle Shot doing a nice job. DeWitt looking for a throw once again, but is getting poked down a lot by this Gul'dan. DeWitt gonna have to be careful. Playing around the vision of this vent. Can they find the throw that they want? Here comes Alan Hicks. Ooh, the preemptive Iron Skin puts the Wrecking Ball on full cooldown. DeWitt actually gets the throw again. I guess that throw didn't quite go on full cooldown. Level 10s are here for Zul'jin Distillery. Lead is kind of stuck in the back, though. Can they get it on out? No, Lucio's going to go down. The red Zerg wave will be pushing in the bottom lane, but XGD traded out the Lucio for that Johanna. Overall, a wave clear victory, though all members of Lubu are here in the bottom lane ready to push this out. Spoticus taking a lot of extra damage from Be Fresh. That trait pop doing a whole lot of work versus a high health target like Leoric. Bandit taking a bit of extra damage. Gul'dan is the bulk of their wave clear here. DeWitt does finish that Warbreaker quest. Spoticus taking a lot of extra damage from Tychus. Once again is going to have to back on out of there and let the ranged heroes clear this out. DeWitt actually in a little bit of trouble here, landing that stun onto Suikoden. A huge sleep by Deckard Cain, but Deckard will be the first to go down. All the ults are being popped. Horrify from Gul'dan is going to catch two. DeWitt in a bit of trouble here. Lead only catches themselves with that sound barrier, but with the amp it up, is DeWitt gonna live? No, Spartacus on the chase, Johanna with the flashlight, and everybody goes down. Very nicely done by Lubu, keeping everyone alive there. They're gonna get some push onto this bottom fort while they can. Meanwhile, though, Cowboy Kyle in the top getting some work done on this top fort. Doing a good job of keeping an eye on the minimap and getting on out of there before Leoric could return to the top lane. XGD now returning to the map. Here comes Cowboy Kyle. There could be some trouble here. Streakwing's very, very low. Can Be Fresh get the chase? The Q not quite available, avoiding the Avenging Wrath. There it is. Oh, just not quite there. Be Fresh is possibly chasing into Ruin, manages to dash out of the Deckard route. Hand of Freedom from Cowboy Kyle is going to escape the majority of that Gul'dan corruption. Streakwing trying to go back, needs that health. DeWitt is going right in there. Deckard Cain once again with the stay a while and listen. A huge amount of damage onto Garrosh. Could we see a counter kill though onto Spartacus? Leoric is slinking away with almost enough health. Gul'dan will go be picked off in the bottom lane though. So Iron Skin popped by Alan Hicks, immediately popped by XGD. Can there be enough damage? Yes, Johanna goes down. The sound barrier is key, catching all 4 members. XGD Sukadin is on the run, will go down here. That's 4 kills to 1 for XGD. Very nicely done there. And now it's Zul'jin Distillery's turn to push down the bottom lane, while Greymane and Leoric will retreat to the top to try to keep that lane centered. Garrosh now back on the field, bottom tower, or bottom fort taken out by Zul'jin Distillery. And now they're going to invade onto the Hellbat camp of Lubu. Spartacus could be in some trouble here, getting thrown in by Garrosh. There's the taunt, doesn't quite catch. The Wraithwalk Unstoppable was there an instant earlier, and Leoric will manage to get away, but almost got there by Zul'jin Distillery. Level 13s are here for both squads. They'll be on even grounds for the next fight. Zul'jin Distillery has the point once again. Oh, but we have a pause here by Alan Hicks. We've got a possible problem. Get that sorted out. We've probably got a disconnect or something. Game is coming back on now. Here we go. All right. The instability has been taken care of. Spartacus checking the boss here, but DeWitt is on the chase. We've got a stun. Be Fresh is there. Spartacus could be in trouble here. Going to take a lot of damage from that Tychus trait before the Wraithwalk completes. Spartacus will manage to get on out of there. Here comes the rest of XGD trying to push down this top fort. DeWitt anchoring in the bush. Sees Spartacus coming. The rest of Lubu is on the chase. DeWitt could be in trouble here. The Entomb goes out. Cursed Bullet onto Garrosh, and that will be it for DeWitt. The rest of the team is caught by a Stay a While and Listen, and then a full 4 Horrify. Ankle shot getting caught in the edge of that Deckard route. It will only be 1 down. The rest of Zul'jin Distillery manages to disengage here. It looks like they will retreat to their camps. They're going to have to play a little bit of Ring Around the Rosie, though, if they want to stop this progress on the objective. Instead, they're going to do a little bit of a fake out, taking the top point. So the rest of Lubu was rotating down. They're going to have to head back on up here. Garrosh has rejoined the battle, but is not back with the team just yet. Cowboy Kyle going in, trying to harass this Leoric just a little bit. Here comes Ankle Shot for a possible gank. The rest of Zul'jin Distillery wants to keep this bottom fort alive as long as possible, but it looks like the minions, will not get the last shot. XGD's wave arrived just in time, and a minion will never prioritize structure over another minion. They really do hate each other. They're kind of medium about structures. They'll hit it if there's nothing else around, you know? Alan Hicks going to take a lot of, oh gosh, taking half damage from Be Fresh. DeWitt with the throw over the wall. Deckard's in a whole lot of trouble. There is the Eternal Feast or Morphia. Great slow from Lucio. Takes down Deckard Cain. Streakwing trying to get on out of there, but Be Fresh on the chase. The grenade is good. Alan Hicks could be next. That's 3 kills for Zul'jin Distillery. Fantastic work. They're going to rotate aggressively towards this top point to get this Zerg wave once again. Spartacus trying to get on out of there. Gets thrown back towards Cowboy Kyle. Looks like the rest of Zul'jin Distillery is going to work on this boss while the 2-on-1 continues on this point. Though Leoric is going to get some work done versus these two very low health members of Zul'jin Distillery. Here comes Spartacus. This could actually be trouble here for XGD if Spartacus gets onto the right target. The throw onto the point. The stun is there, and the boss with the finish. But Bandit is there. Ankle shot trying to hold the point. Garrosh does return. Fantastic effort there by Lubu, really almost stealing that boss. But Leoric and Gul'dan will go down for the trouble. Unstoppable pop by Alan Hex will get Johanna right on out of there. Suikoden may not be so lucky though. Be fresh on the chase. Back into the fray by DeWitt just in case. Here comes the boss for XGD. Progress on the objective. Passing 70%. This will be followed up by a top Zerg wave as well. This could be it here if Lubu doesn't get the clear and if XGD can find some picks. A nice Wraith Walk by Spartacus, thwarting the inevitable throw stun combo. But another throw there onto Alan Hicks. Iron Skin is burned. The sound barrier goes down for Lucio. Leoric will be the first to fall here. Alan Hicks getting stunned out by DeWitt. This could be trouble for Johanna. The Iron Skin not available yet. Johanna's going to go down. This could be a push to the finish. Here comes the Zerg wave. The boss is already still at 30%. This keep is down, and this looks like it could be it. Cowboy Kyle is going in, going to actually take a lot of damage from the Deckard. Gul'dan getting thrown and killed by DeWitt. DeWitt with another double stun. Suikoden and Streakwing in trouble there. They want more kills, but this core is rapidly falling. Full Zerg wave, the boss is here, and game 1 goes to Zul'jin Distillery. GG. Well, quite the game number 1. We saw the wave clear comp of Lubu versus the brawling pick comp of XGD, and we saw DeWitt do some fantastic work there on Garrosh, getting all the throws and stuns, pulling everyone out of position. We saw some very nice combos, though, coming out from Lubu. Those stay a while, horrify combos did a lot of work in the mid game, but ultimately the team fight from XGD just too strong, and they're going to take game number 1. All right, game number 1 is in the books. We're going to load up game number 2 here. We're going to take you to the break screen, and when I come back, it'll be more Lubu versus Zul'jin Distillery. Don't go far. All right, we are loaded up here for game number 2, Lubu versus XGD. Zul'jin Distillery picking up the game number 1 win there on Brax's Holdout in a fairly dominating fashion. Very nicely done from XGD. Lubu, great comp, great picks for the map, but ultimately the brawling comp from XGD proved just too much. Though we are getting in here to game number 2, the teams are raring and ready to go, so I'm going to bring you over once again to the maps to give you a recap of where we are. Sky Temple, Dragonshire, Battlefield of Eternity, and Volskaya Foundry are all banned for this series. XGD won game number 1, if I can update things properly. Yeah. XGD chose Braxis Holdout and picked up game number 1, and now... Oh, it looks like I had this wrong. Oh my god. It was actually Lubu who was taking us to Infernal Shrines. Let's get into the draft before I mess this up anymore. Oh my god. XGD is going to ban out Kael'thas once again, and Lubu with that Garrosh ban, not wanting to see DeWitt chucking people around anymore in this series. Zul'jin Distillery sticking true to their bans. They don't want the ETC, they don't want the Kael'thas. May banned away by Lubu. That leaves Cassia open. Cassia was the ban instead of Garrosh last game. We'll see if Zul'jin Distillery wants to pick that up. If I take a look at their picks so far this season, they have not played Cassia just yet. Cassia did catch a nerf in the latest patch, though still performing very, very well. We'll see if Zul'jin Distillery agrees and they want to grab that first pick, or if they've got something else in mind here. They are going to take it. They'll say, you don't want to ban it? All right. No worries. We'll take it. I would imagine that's more of a denial to Lubu than it is something that they're super ready to play. There has been, how many Cassia games? Lubu has just the one. 1 in 6 so far, or 1 in 7, I should say. But since they did put priority on it to the bans in game number 1, makes a lot of sense that they would pick it up first to deny it to Lubu. Suikoden is going to grab Tassadar, a favorite of theirs, and Alan Hicks is going to play Diablo. Two very, very strong heroes here on Infernal Shrines. Tassadar with a lot of poke onto the points and getting last hits with the static field. Very, very simple. And Diablo, there's a whole lot of walls on Infernal Shrines that Diablo can take advantage of. Ankle Shot is going to grab the Orphea once again here in game number 2, and DeWitt, without Garrosh available, will take Mal'Ganis. I'm interested to see whether there's going to be a Deckard ban from XGD. Diablo Deckard is a pretty classic ult combo, and Lubu has shown a penchant for heroic combos so far. It is going to be the Anduin ban. Anduin very good at saving one hero at a time, though. So that kind of throws me off the scent a little bit. Anduin is very good at denying pick comps. Though they've chosen... I mean, Diablo can definitely be played as a pick comp, but Tassadar, some good splash damage. Diablo goes very well with other AoE heroics. It is going to be the Deckard ban, though, by XGD, going to deny that Stay a While APOC combo. I'm wondering if Lubu... No, they're going to grab Lucio. I was going to say, I wonder if they're going to go into Bloodlust here. They do have the opportunity. But instead, Shriekwing is going to grab Lucio, and Bandit will go on to Raynor. Bandit has played Raynor quite a bit so far this season. This will be the 3rd game. Bandit has picked up Raynor. Last 2 picks coming in here, Ford Led and Cowboy Kyle. Rexar is open. If I look at Cowboy Kyle here, it's actually going to grab Uther and Stukov. Led in the first series for XGD played a very, very effective Stukov. So I'm expecting big things from Led on that hero. Interesting that they go with the pseudo-second tank, pseudo-second healer. It goes well with the Cassia. Cassia Orphea has a whole lot of damage, so this comp could work. Though their offlane is going to be a little odd. And Spoticus will take the Ragnaros. So Ragnaros very, very strong at stalling out a game. Very strong wave clear. If they take the lava wave, this game will definitely be going to level 20. Though, this is a very interesting set of comps here coming out from these teams. I'm excited to see how it goes here for game number 2. Lubu versus Zul'jin Distillery. Let's not pontificate any longer. Let's get into it. And by get into it, I mean return to me. Someday, I'm thinking about creating like a stinger for XGD like they have for NGS, like just a little 30-second clip that takes you into the next game so I don't have to come in here, give you the last couple words. But this is fine too. The flow of it seems kind of weird to me. I liked having the video and then straight into the game, so I think I might create something. But that's a weekend project. Alright, we're going in here to game number 2. Once again, on the left in the blue is Lubu. We're going to have Shriekwing on the Lucio, Suikoden playing that Tassadar, Bandit on the Raynor, Spoticus will be on Ragnaros, and Alan Hicks on the Diablo. On the right in the red, we have Zul'jin Distillery with Cassia being played by B Fresh, still in the base, making my scanning difficult. Cowboy Kyle is going to be playing Uther, DeWitt on the Mal'Ganis, Led is on Stukov, and Ankle Shot will be playing the Orphea. Game number 2 between our 2 squads here. We are seeing a Meteor build coming out from Ragnaros. Now that can be a whole lot of extra poke that is going to be difficult for Uther specifically to deal with. So I like this build coming out from Spoticus. It's going to provide a lot of pressure onto Orphea, a lot of pressure onto Cassia, really testing that double healer composition. And a lot of stacks to start off with for Rag. 9 hits right off the opening bat. DeWitt once again flanking. Alan Hicks managing to squeeze out of that silence from Stukov. There will be no opening pick. Spartacus could be in a little bit of trouble here, though. DeWitt going for the stun onto Bandit. Will not find the connection. Be Fresh is on the chase, though. Spartacus could be in trouble here. That's a lot of damage coming out from Cassia. Will manage to back away. It's going to be Uther versus Ragnaros in the top lane, and our two teams are going to rotate between top or mid and bottom to grab this opening XP. There's DeWitt. Finds the double sleep. Raynor is the target. Orphea with a bunch of damage. A nice stun by DeWitt. Raynor goes down. First blood, almost second blood here. Oh, Cassia almost getting that split lightning bolt onto Alan Hicks, who will have to back away. DeWitt warding away Suikoden. Zul'jin Distillery on a very strong start here, already getting damage onto this front wall. Here come Raynor and Diablo, though. Looking at the top lane, Ragnaros will have a bit of extra wave clear for that matchup. Though Uther... Is Uther stacking up? He's actually going for the Silver Touch quest, wanting to get extra cooldowns on that Holy Light. We'll probably stay fairly healthy there. Our two teams now working on their respective camps. Zul'jin Distillery picks up theirs first. Are they going to go for invade? Oh, they're thinking about it. Nope. Instead, they're going to go and focus on this bottom camp. Be Fresh starting it up right away. DeWitt and Ankle Shot trying to ward away the rest of Lubu. DeWitt feigning a move to the mid lane. Trying to keep the suspicions low. DeWitt is actually getting kind of low here. He's going to have to be careful. They've got no healer with them right now. Be Fresh coming up from the camp. It's a trade there. Raynor for Mal'Ganis. Be Fresh getting the blind. We'll have to escape. Oh, Streakwing on the chase. A very nice, hard... What is that thing called? I don't know what Lucio's trade called, but he used it. Very nicely done, getting the big slow and the kill onto Cassia. And Spartacus is actually going to catch Led out of position there. Very nicely done by Lubu to turn this early game around. Taking a look at the XP here. They've got those extra hero kills. They've got the extra mercenaries now. And they got that minion lead, especially with these minions dying on the wall. Suikoden is going to get a lot of work done here. First objective has spawned. Level 7 will be here first for Lubu. That's going to be a big deal. If XGD wants to step onto this point, they're going to have to do so with a level deficit. Instead, they're going to focus on this camp. Be Fresh is going to try to poke in and grab a minion or two to give their team time. But 7s are here for Lubu. This could be a big problem. There's the stun onto Alan Hicks. DeWitt trying to get the backline warded away. Alan Hicks taking a lot of damage, and Diablo's going to go down. We've got a very interesting setup here with an Uther main tank front line, and DeWitt is just causing chaos in the back. Zul'jin Distillery with a strong team fight here in the opening minutes. Be Fresh taking a lot of damage from that meatball, though. Ragnaros with the counter kill. Very nicely done. We're 29-13 on these minions. Lubu can definitely still continue to poke this out. Tassadar is going to be able to do so very safely. Catching up on the XP in the mid lane. Looks like Lubu will pick this up. XGD is going to have to back off here. DeWitt going to have to answer this camp in the bottom lane. Has been doing work basically this whole time. Ragnaros alone in the top lane for now. There's the wall from Tassadar. Led is going to have to... Oh, the stun is not quite in time. Will they get the counter kill onto Streakwing? No, Streakwing is going to streak away, and they find the kill onto Stukov. This is a tough position for XGD. They don't really have a great catch hero for this Punisher. Normally you want to bait it over the wall with somebody who has an unstoppable, someone who has a good amount of health to get away from the gank that inevitably comes once the Punisher jumps. It's gonna be difficult. They're gonna be relying on the armor from Uther and the extra healing from Stukov to survive those gank attempts. And it looks like our teams are going to be grabbing their camps again. Here comes Lubu, though. They see that the camp has not been picked up for Zul'jin Distillery. DeWitt there with the vision, though, going to ward away Lubu, and they will trade camps once again. Uther trying to catch some extra experience in the top lane. Rest of Zildjian Distillery clearing out the mid. Lubu looking for an angle of approach, though. Alan Hicks was looking for a slam onto that wall as they now have a full level advantage along with the heroics. You see the sound barrier coming out from Lucio, Apocalypse, Archon, Hyperion, and Unknown for Ragnaros. We'll see what Spartacus wants to pick up. Here comes the Hyperion. They're going to commit to this mid fort. DeWitt with the flank here, but the heroics are not ready. There's the sleep onto Alan Hicks. There's another sleep. The heroics are still not ready. DeWitt's going to have to try to use the Fell Claws to get on out of there. Looking for a quick pick, but very smartly backing off when they didn't find an immediate kill. Ragnaros in the top lane going to be dueling versus that Uther once again. Alan Hicks looking for a possible gank here. Slowing down DeWitt on this rotation. 10s are almost here for Zildjian Distillery. Lubu going on to the neutral camp in the bottom lane, and it will be Sulfurous Smash for the Ragnaros. So no delay here. DeWitt is going to try to commit to this point, gets the sleep onto Diablo. Ult's already. DeWitt, oh, manages to get the Carrion Swarm just in time. There's the Ragnaros Smash. Orphea will be the first to fall here. DeWitt trying to hold this point. Ragnaros is next to go down. DeWitt is down. Led trying to push Lubu off the point, but too swift is Lubu. Cassia gonna fall. Led gonna fall. And Lubu getting the full wipe minus Uther, who is in the off lane over this camp. Very nicely done. That 2-level lead, that scaling, proving to be just too much in that team fight. Lubu gonna use this camp and use this wave to grab this bottom fort. Uther double soaking to the best of their ability, trying to catch up on this experience. We see now a 3,000 experience lead just from hero kills, almost 2,000 extra experience from minions. This is going to be a tough spot for XGD. DeWitt looking to make something happen here before level 13. Oh, not quite. Spartacus is actually caught in the back. That could be just the pick they need. Ragnaros is going to go down here. And now XGD is on the chase. Tassadar wall does cut off XGD, but DeWitt is in the back line. It looks like they're actually going to steal this camp. A very gutsy call there from XGD, going just before level 13, getting that pick, trying to catch up with some mercenary experience. And now they're headed to the top lane to grab the Mortar Shrine. Impeccable timing from Zildjian Distillery, finding an angle to try to get back into this game. Though still more than a level behind here, Lubu can absolutely storm in and take back this point. Ragnaros just a little bit behind here. Zildjian Distillery with the engage there. Orphea Crushing Jaws is out, finding one. There goes Tassadar. The Divine Storm finds two. Alan Hicks could be in trouble, but a huge Sulfurous Smash catches 3 members of XGD. Alan Hicks will be going down. Carrion Swarm trying to get that last bit of damage. Oh, Bandit is going to get away with just 60 health. Spartacus warding away the rest of XGD with that Molten Core. And wow, with a full talent tier disadvantage, XGD is just finding all the angles they need in these team fights. They're going to get this Mortar Punisher. They're going to push down the top lane. Looks like Lubu is going to take the opportunity to grab some extra camps while Zildjian Distillery's in the top lane. They're going to concede this top fort and meet the objective at the keep. Ankle Shot is back, trying to get this bottom lane cleaned up. It's already taken out 1 tower. Lubu going to grab 1 extra camp here before heading on back. Orphea trying to clear out these lanes, clear out these camps that are being taken by Lubu, but here comes the Mortar Punisher. Spartacus is here for the defense. Molten Core, I don't believe, will be ready. Here comes a possible flank. Lubu is coming in from the side. That's a lot of damage from Tassadar. Alan Hicks is trying to drive DeWitt underneath that keep. A nice flip there. Sulfurous Smash goes out. No stun there. Led knocking away Lubu. DeWitt is very, very low. Led actually being taken out by that Psionic Storm in the back. That's a huge pick for Lubu, and that gives them the free clear here. Suikoden taking a lot of damage from those stacked up mortar shots, but will manage to survive. And Zildjian Distillery miraculously only losing 1 on a great flank by Lubu. Speaking of great flanks, Lubu isn't done. They're going to come in and try to take this Shaman camp. XGD, DeWitt sees it coming. Will they back off here? DeWitt is going to fall. XGD is going to have to back away. Streakwing gets the hard stop onto ankle shot, but no follow-up there. The Lubu is content to steal this shaman camp, and XGD is left looking for another opportunity. Very nicely done by Lubu to regain that advantage. Gonna push down this top fort wall, grab this XP that's locked up in these towers, locked up not in the fort. Because we're not on a very old patch, the fort doesn't give immediate XP anymore. But it does give trickle XP advantage, which is now currently one structure in favor of Lubu. Bottom Impaler camp is available. It will be the focal point for these teams. We do have a Frozen Punisher coming in the bottom lane. 16s have arrived for Lubu, sitting on a 1-level advantage here. We're about even in minion XP. It's the hero kills and mercenaries that are giving Lubu this lead as they head onto this bottom camp. Ragnaros is a little bit behind, though. This could be the opening that Zul'jin Distillery needs. Are they going to go on to this point? The Crushing Jaws is out. Lubu actually didn't get on the point. They didn't want to take that fight. A very well-thought-out decision. They're going to concede the camp and not get caught in a Stukov trap. I like that play from Lubu, keeping the vision, seeing Zul'jin Distillery was right there, and disengaging from that fight. Ragnaros was stuck in the middle lane. Very nice situational awareness from Lubu to not throw in that pit. The left side Shaman camp is the next point of focus. DeWitt actually looking for a sleep there. Is going to have to use that to get on away as Alan Hicks hitting the back of Mal'Ganis and not getting caught by that sleep. Level 16s have arrived for Zul'jin Distillery, so we are back on even talent tiers, though level 17 is just around the corner for Lubu. They will have that scaling advantage. Alan Hicks in a lot of trouble here. The silence is out from Stukov. Fantastic route. Diablo's going to go down. Carrion Swarm is out on the back of Lubu, but here comes a Divine Storm as well. Cowboy Kyle could go down for this. Uther is down, but Tassadar falling as well. Bandit and Spoticus are on the retreat. Can Raynor make it back to the wall? Oh, not quite. Be Fresh with the Fend is going to get all 4 killing blows in that fight. I think we're seeing why Cassie was banned in the first game there by Lubu. Be Fresh with a ton of work so far. Top hero damage at 44,000. Though honestly, Ragnaros hot on the heels there. 44,000 of their own with that meatball build. Though with 4 members down, this Frozen Punisher will be going over to Zul'jin Distillery, though it is pushing down a perfectly healthy lane here. And Lubu will be back on the field to defend this, so I don't believe keeps are in danger here with this push. They're going to need more picks. Zul'jin Distillery, that is, if they want to find a keep with this objective. Lubu working on clearing out these camps so that they're not pushing during this objective. Camps are all cleared away, so all they have to do is worry about this bottom lane. DeWitt working around the edges, wanting to find a pick here. Here comes Cowboy Kyle as well. Lubu taking the safe way around, though. Sukanin might get caught here. Oh, Raynor with a fantastic penetrating round. Denies DeWitt. Excellent attempt, though, by Zul'jin Distillery. The fort is conceded. The boss, or the Punisher, I should say, still very healthy as it goes onto this keep wall. Eventually, took a few extra seconds to punch down that fort, punch down those last couple minions. DeWitt is going to open up that side wall. They want to be able to dive in with this Punisher if possible. There it is. Alan Hicks gets a start out. What a great wall by Tassadar. Denies the engage from Zul'jin Distillery. There's the Molten Core from Ragnaros. That's really going to push him back and allow basically a free clear. Very well played by Lubu on that defense. That was an absolute clinic on how to defend a Punisher push with that comp. Really, really nicely done. Lubu is now going to have to respond to the catapult push in the top lane, dealing a little bit of damage to that keep, but it will be cleaned up by Rag. Shaman camp now being picked up by Lubu. Zul'jin Distillery is moving on to the Shaman camp of their own. They're going to have to be careful, though. Lubu showed that they will invade this. See if Lubu shows on this bottom wave. Yes, they will. Zul'jin Distillery will see it and realize they've got the free clear. No problem whatsoever. DeWitt is going to move up, try to get some preemptive damage onto this Shaman camp, while Lubu is working around, wanting to make sure that they do not fall behind in XP here, as we've now seen it pretty much even out. The hero kill advantage now going over to XGD, canceling out that minion advantage created in the early game. Lubu sees Zul'jin Distillery in the top lane, and they're going to go for a camp steal here. It looks like XGD will not be able to react, and they're going to back and try to defend this top keep as we have a catapult and a shaman camp pushing. XGD not going to push with it. Tassadar trying to keep vision on this camp, will now back, and they're just dancing around the map. They're just trying to get control of the lanes. They're trying to look for level 20 here. Neither team wants to throw on these rotations, so playing very safely here as we get ready for a Mortar Punisher in the mid lane. Again, the most fortified lane of Lubu. If Lubu does pick up the Punisher, we'll be moving on to a keep wall for Zul'jin Distillery. So Zul'jin Distillery, both teams here at level 20, they want to get as much damage onto this mid lane as possible to prepare for the objective, but they want to do so safely. This tower is trouble. They don't want to dive under it and accidentally take a bunch of extra damage. Alan Hicks very nicely scouted there with the Flame Stomp. DeWitt will have to rotate around. Lubu being very careful here. Could be anywhere. Here comes Alan Hicks. DeWitt and Led avoiding this camp, or avoiding that scout. But no chances taken by Lubu. The Shrine is activating, forcing these teams to meet. Here comes DeWitt, though. That tower is still up. This could be trouble here for Zul'jin Distillery. DeWitt gets pushed into fort range. That could be trouble. That's minus armor. Here comes the sound barrier by Lucio. Uther is going to be the first to fall here. Be Fresh avoiding the apocalypse on the top. Suikoden is going to be chasing down Be Fresh. Streakwing is in a lot of trouble here. DeWitt lands the last hit of Fell Claws, but Stukov will be the next to go down. Ankle Shot is healing off those auto attacks. Uther finally falling here. That's 2 kills for Lubu. And Lubu will be able to control this objective. DeWitt could be in some trouble here. Alan Hicks actually landing the stun on that wall. I wasn't expecting that to hit. And Mal'Ganis is going to go down. The lanes are definitely in favor of XGD. A big push onto the bottom keep, a big push onto the top keep, but Lubu wants to get this Punisher moving as soon as possible. Reg will have to back and protect these keeps, but will definitely have the chance to do so with 3 members down for Zul'jin Distillery. They're going to grab this Punisher right away. Ankle Shot working on this bottom camp. They want to give Reg more to deal with. Be Fresh joining. Is Lubu going to sniff this out, or are they going to move with it? Nope, they're going to stick with the objective. Orphea and Cassia are going to back here. Most members are still down. We still have 20 seconds on Mal'Ganis. That's so much time that Lubu is going to have to push down this mid-keep. Twilight Archon still online for Suikoden. That's a bunch of extra damage for Tassadar. A good bait by Cowboy Kyle. Led knocking away the rest of Lubu. This keep is absolutely melting, and here comes the Punisher. It's got one more leap in it. Let's see who it lands on. It's going to be Cowboy Kyle once again. Alan Hicks going in for the stun. Apoc is out. Catches one. Cowboy Kyle's in a lot of trouble here. The Hellgate from Diablo will finish the Uther. Carrion Swarm onto the backline. Ankle Shot doing so much damage to Suikoden and to Bandit, but the Punisher still alive. Is going to jump and get the stun. Orphea goes down. Raynor down in response. Tassadar falls. This Punisher's getting low, but the core's at 45%. There goes Cassia. Led is in the back trying to do as much damage as possible. It's just Diablo, Streakwing, and Spartacus. I think Ragnaros is going to be enough siege for this. Diablo's going to go down. Spartacus still very healthy. And there is the core. Lubu strikes back. It evens up the series. GG. Great game number 2 there from our 2 teams. 19 kills to 14 for the victor, Lubu. Ragnaros coming in hot with that 65,000 hero damage with that meatball build. Cassia showing why she's a first-tier band, leading the way for Zul'jin Distillery. That was a really, really back-and-forth game. Really impressed with both of our teams here on that map. I think... Oh, jeez. I mean, I couldn't really find a flaw in that gameplay at all. It was just... We saw some engages didn't quite work out. We saw some great counter pushes from both teams when the engages did come out. Just two really even teams battling it out there, and Lubu taking the win, making the most of that final push in that final fight. Very nicely executed. A fantastic game number 2. All right, 1-1 is the series. We're going to get ready for game number 3. Once again, I'm going to head over to the break, and I will be back with game number 3. It's Lubu versus Zul'jin Distillery. See you soon. All right, game number 3. We're almost ready. Zul'jin Distillery took first blood on Braxis Holdout. Lubu striking back on Infernal Shrines, and we are getting into draft number 3. You hear it in the background, but I gotta remind you of the map situation here. Sky Temple, Dragonshire, Battlefield of Eternity, and Volskaya Foundry are banned out for this series. Zul'jin Distillery chose and won our Game 1 at Braxis Holdout. Lubu chose and won on Infernal Shrines for Game number 2. And now Lubu is taking us to Alterac Pass for Game number 3. Let's get into the draft. As we see Zul'jin Distillery once again banning away Kael'thas, just not wanting to see the Fire Mage, and Lubu responding with the Garrosh ban once again. I'm expecting the ETC ban here. Will we keep to the script? Or will it be another option? I really see no reason to stop banning ETC. Unless they want to ban Diablo. Alan Hicks playing a very nice Diablo there in game number 2. Decide to want to throw him off his rhythm. May, once again, banned away. Cassia's open. DeWitt is actually going to snipe away the ETC. A nice little bit of drafting there by XGD. We'll see if Lubu wants that Cassia or whether they've got other options. That leaves, if I take a look here, Johanna's still open. Honestly, I'm expecting a Johanna Cassia rotation from Lubu, given the heroes that Alan Hicks has played so far this season. Actually, they're going to prioritize the Tassadar. Tassadar doing great work there in game number 1. That means Cassia's still open here. We'll see if they want Be Fresh to pick up that hero once again, or if they've got other ideas. They do have the opportunity to ban it or really just give it away. Cassia does pair pretty well with Johanna, though her matchup against Johanna isn't particularly good. They are going to take it. Ankle Shot, a third game on Orphea. Be Fresh is going to reprise the Cassia role once again. That leaves an offlaner and a healer. If I'm Lubu, I mean, Led Stukov is pretty tough to deal with, so unless they're planning on taking it themselves, which I do not believe they have any history of, no, not a lot of no history on Stukov so far. And there it is, the Stukov ban coming out from Lubu. Gonna force Led onto... Honestly, probably expecting Malfurion. Unless they want to do some Nano Boost Orphea business, I'm expecting a Malfurion from Led. But lots of options available. Anna's up. Deckard is up. Speaking of Deckard up, oh, they're gonna ban. They're gonna waive the Anduin. So Deckard does have the opportunity to come through here. Will we see it from Lubu? The point control on Alterac, particularly important. And those choke points are about the size of a Deckard root, but Streakwing is going to opt for that Lucio once again. And Bandit, back to the Rainer. They've got a very, very similar comp to last time. Just switch out a Johanna for a Diablo. If Spartacus takes Ragnaros, it's just a copy of the draft. Zul'jin Distillery. Honestly, not that far off from their last draft either. Change the tank out. They've got the same DPS. They won't be able to take Stukov this time. And I'm expecting Cowboy Kyle to grab a different laner than Uther. We may see the Urel come through again. Let's see what they're thinking. Cowboy Kyle is going to grab Leoric, and this time it's led on the Uther. Interesting. Going for what I'm guessing is a Divine Cow composition. Uther. Alright. What will the response be? Leoric, a very strong wave clear hero that will have to be answered by Spartacus. It's going to be Imperius, so they're not going to answer with wave clear, they're going to answer with follow-up CC. Imperius is very, very strong on this patch, so taking it while it's open, probably a pretty good idea, and since they're lacking other sorts of follow-up CC, good pick there. They may have some trouble keeping up with the Leoric, though. It's going to be a tough matchup. Alright, game number 3, the rubber match between Lubu and Zul'jin Distillery. Coming at you now. Loading up for game number 3. I think the macro advantage will slowly start to favor Zul'jin Distillery with that Leoric. Though we have a lot of staying power from Lubu to counter the Uther ETC push and a lot of poke from Raynor and Tassadar versus the solo heal Uther. But let's get into game number 3. Once again, on the left in the blue is Lubu. Streakwing bringing you that Lucio. Spartacus will be on the Imperius. Bandit playing Raynor. Suikoden on the Tassadar. And Alan Hicks will be on the Johanna. On the right in the red, we have Zul'jin Distillery with DeWitt playing that unbanned ETC. Be Fresh on the Cassia. Ankle Shot will be on the Orphea. Lead on the Uther. And Cowboy Kyle on the Leoric. Let's get into it. Game number 3 here. Lubu versus XGD. Who's going to take the series? It's going to be close. These two teams have been very evenly matched here. We see Uther has picked up that Hammer of the Lightbringer quest, expecting to get some auto attacks in versus this comp from Lubu. Also wanting to get those extra stuns in. Going to be very important for this comp to succeed in these team fights. Alan Hicks moving in, trying to just clear that wave and walk on out. Spartacus wants the follow-up onto DeWitt, or possibly in the lane there. These teams continuing to battle it out. DeWitt gets the stun there onto Joanna. Nice follow-up from Led. Bandit poking away. He's going to take a bit of extra damage from Ankle Shot. Leoric is going to retreat to the top lane. Imperius in tow. Tassadar already down low. Alan Hicks interrupting the rotations here. But it looks like... lost a couple globes of XP there from the looks of it. Let's take a look here. Looks like just a couple globes. No big deal. Cowboy Kyle, this is going to be an interesting matchup for Leoric. Leoric has to hit every single W in that matchup to be okay, because Imperius just deals so much damage. You do see the burn the Impure coming out from Imperius. That means that for every Valorous brand on an enemy target will deal that much extra damage, auto attack damage, as a burst in percentage damage, which is really going to ruin the Leoric's day. Both teams picking up their mid camp as they are wont to do. They want to grab that as early as possible so they can grab it a second time before the first objective. ETC looking for a slide there. Ooh, Streakwing with a little bit of a juke. Gets away, and now it's the counter engage. Alan Hicks gathering up all three. Ankle Shot gonna have to be careful. Does land the Q. We'll try to get on out of there. A nice juke again by Orphea. That movement tech doing a ton of work, but Streakwing is on the chase. Ooh, I thought Lucio might have been able to dive for that kill. Orphea manages to get out. Suikoden versus Be Fresh. The very high DPS assassins are duking it out here in the bottom lane. Bandit is going to back for mana ahead of the first objective. Looks like Cowboy Kyle is on a bit of a mana advantage versus Spartacus for now. Led a little bit mana starved as well as we head into this first phase. Oh, this could be trouble here. Oh, Be Fresh managing to get away from that shock ray. Suikoden. Be Fresh wants it. Be Fresh needs it. Wants that fend. Ooh. Oh no, here comes the rotation, not respecting the 1v1 is Lubu. The penetrating round misses, but there's Streakwing with the kill. But XGD coming down as well. This could be trouble. A nice slide onto Tassadar, still not fully healed. Will Ankle Shot be able to follow up with the damage? No! It's going to be warded away by Lubu. The gank, counter gank, try to follow up deal, ends up favoring Lubu. Leoric still in the top lane, soaking things out. Led grabbing that mid XP. Very, very even for our two teams here. We've got the hero advantage for Lubu, the minion advantage for XGD. And we do see our two teams are going to grab this camp for the second time before venturing onto this point. They want level 7, they want this camp pushing mid before having anything to do with this objective. A nice stun there, a nice little bit of burst damage by Spoticus. Really working hard to get these camps. These camps are especially beefy compared to most other mercenary camps on other maps. It takes a lot of work to take down those gnolls. Both teams here at level 7 though, which means we're going to have ourselves a brawl. Alan Hicks warding away DeWitt. Cassia looking for the kill, possibly onto Bandit. That'd be a pretty big deal as we have the camps meeting in the mid. I think Lubu's got the slightly better clear here. DeWitt sliding again onto Johanna. Ankle Shot is in real deep though. A nice stun there onto Alan Hicks. DeWitt slides on through. Here comes Cowboy Kyle coming in for the assist. Be Fresh coming up from the bottom lane. Rainer not too far behind. Bandit with a nice penetrating round to create space on the rotation. Orphea trying to poke in from range on the sides. Both teams are going to have to be careful with their positioning. It looks like Lubu may want to move in first here. A big slide onto Johanna. The follow-up stun is there. The Iron Skin available, though, for Alan Hicks. Cowboy Kyle with the flank does not land the W. That could be trouble for Leoric. He's going to have to use the Wraithwalk to get out of there. Ankle Shot is in way deep, but a huge slide from ETC. Cassia. Nope, not Cassia. Rainer traded out for Orphea there. Just one more Q would have done it, but a fantastic slide by DeWitt turns that gank into a trade, though Cowboy Kyle in a little bit of trouble. Streakwing with those little tiny autos getting Leoric under 40 health. Cowboy Kyle will survive. Spoticus goes in with the Q. The rest of the team is there to follow up, though. Be Fresh gonna have to just walk on out of there. Orphea is now rejoining the battle. And no progress on this objective. I think both teams now have to just play for level 10 before the next fight. Going for their camp a third time is Lubu. There goes Orphea to try to take this back camp. Cowboy Kyle is going to go to the top lane to try to grab this XP. Lubu is going to get 10 first, though not far behind is XGD. There's Uther with the assist on this camp. Both teams will be level 10 on the next engage. Be Fresh. Oh, we're going to have to be careful here. Here comes the rest of Lubu. Can Be Fresh get the mount? No, it's actually caught by Alan Hicks. There's the wall. It looks like Be Fresh will go down. Not quite being able to wiggle away. Cassia taken out. Leoric is in the mid with the clear. DeWitt is just trying to gather extra experience in the bottom lane, and Lubu is going to start the first objective of the game at level 10. And with the death timers being what they are, I don't think XGD is going to have time to contest. They're just going to have to go ahead and clear mid lane and spread on out. Led and DeWitt feigning a possible invade. Here comes Cowboy Kyle. They actually may be looking for the invade here. Be Fresh is on the back. They do manage to stop the timer, but DeWitt may pay for it. They've managed to take back the camp. Unexpected. And Tomb is out from Leoric. Here's the Eternal Feast. Zukaden with the counter black hole is going to stun the rest of XGD. Orphea going to go down first. The Mosh Pit was used alongside the Divine Shield. Very, very low are the members of XGD. Cowboy Kyle in the back trying to duel Suikoden using that W healing. There goes Leoric, though. DeWitt with the slide. Cassia going to go down here. DeWitt going to have to run away. Led could be next. There it is. That's 4 kills for Lubu. I missed what happened with the ETC. I thought the Divine Shield went out on the Mosh, but I guess the Mosh was interrupted and the Divine Shield came out after? I didn't see where the Divine Shield landed. My camera was slightly askew for that engage. Lubu going to take the opportunity to push down this bottom wall. Bandit taking a lot of damage there from Ankle Shot. Orphea being able to poke from afar with ease. It looks like Cassia and ETC are going to be here for the clear. Johanna pushing mid lane with that objective. Here comes the rest of Zul'jin Distillery. Leoric still on the top versus this Imperious. And it looks like the bottom fort will be saved. Alan Hicks trying to get this wave moving towards this mid fort, but here comes XGD. The slide not connecting onto Alan Hicks. Iron Skin almost certainly available anyway, and Lubu will move back and grab this bottom fort, giving them the structure advantage here and the full level lead, 13 to 12. Both teams now going to retreat to their knoll camps. You see XGD is going to pick this up. Lubu doing the same, heading on to their knoll camp. ETC keeping an eye on that bottom boss. That definitely was a possibility. These bosses very important on this map. Keep the control around these lanes. A nice hit by Spoticus, but the Q used to go in. Here comes XGD with her possible gank. Spoticus is going to play Ring Around the Rosie. Will almost certainly not escape here. The pincer from XGD. Spoticus going over the wall. There's the stun from Uther. There's the Angelic Armament. So Spoticus going to make it out of here. Oh, an extra stun from Uther, and there goes Imperious. Fantastic jukes, opening up the opportunity for Lubu to actually get on this bottom boss. Very nicely played by Spoticus, staying alive as long as they did. I was not expecting the Q over the wall. That was very nicely done. XGD now realizing what had happened with that gank attempt is going to grab the top boss and get that pushing in the opposite lane. DeWitt in the middle lane wants this knoll camp up on the wall. Lubu is going to get the clear there. XGD is still working on that top boss. I think there's going to be no problem. Lubu gets the clear there. Top boss is taken. And that will be pushing down the top lane. Lubu is actually going to take the opportunity, knowing that XGD had to back to grab this mid fort. A nice little steal there by Lubu. Nicely done. XGD going to clear out the bottom boss. Top boss is still working on this wall, so that was definitely a favorable trade for Lubu in the bottom versus top boss trade. We see... I'm not even sure this cannon will go down, to be honest. We're going to take a look. Oh, big slam. 1, 2 autos. The wall does go down. Nicely done there, Bossy. Back camp picked up for Zul'jin Distillery. Lubu will almost certainly be looking for the same. There goes Alan Hicks, Streakwing, and Bandit. They're going to grab that. DeWitt is in the bottom lane trying to get some extra experience as we now see still a full level lead. Zul'jin Distillery actually looking for an invade here. There's the Eternal Feast. Can they get onto the point? There is the sound barrier coming out from Lucio, and we've got a full-on fight here. Zul'jin Distillery invading before 16. Black Hole from Suikoden. Rainer will be first to fall. So many low on the side of Zul'jin Distillery, but there goes Lucio. Uther next to fall. Orphea is down. Spotic is still very healthy on the point. Suikoden taking no damage. There's the Entomb, though, is going to lock in Imperious, and that is 4 kills to 2 for Zul'jin Distillery. I can't get over how they know exactly the opportunities they need to catch up in these games. They're up to level 16 now. Unbelievable stuff, just showing incredible map awareness, incredible awareness of the macro position, of the level lead that they have, and knowing where Lubu's gonna be, make the gutsy call and grab that camp. Blister Fiend in the chat, how you doing? We're in game number 3 here. This is the rubber match. Very, very close series. Here comes the rest of Lubu. DeWitt and Cowboy Kyle gonna have to get on out of there as Imperious rejoins the battle.
Well done.
Looks like Zul'jin Distillery will move on to their own back camp here as Lubu advances onto this objective point. Suikoden Getting a quick clear there. Zul'jin Distillery has time. DeWitt venturing forth, knocks Alan Hicks back. Spoticus has still not been spotted in the bottom lane. There it is, the big spear onto Orphea. A ton of extra damage onto Ankle Shot. Blessed Shield is out. That's going to be the end of ETC. Black Hole is out. Cowboy Kyle is going to be going down. Lead is on the run. And Zul'jin Distillery is going to have to back off. An amazing flank there by Spoticus. Very, very nicely done. Trying to poke in here is Zul'jin Distillery. That could prove to be trouble. Ankle Shot is going to get on out of there. Led with a spotty little stun there. And Lubu will pick up this next objective. 12 hours into Elder Scrolls. Oh my. Well, hope you had fun there, Lister Fiend. Still a full level lead for Lubu. The Dwarf Riders are barreling down the lanes here. It looks like Lubu will commit to this mid lane. Alan Hicks looking for a possible flank here. There's DeWitt and Be Fresh. Will they get it? There they go. Alan Hicks is on the chase. Oh, what a huge face melt from DeWitt. Is it not going to be enough, though? Be Fresh very low. There goes Cassia. There goes Uther. The wall is there. Ankle Shot's not going to be able to retreat. The Black Hole is there. DeWitt with a fantastic timing on the face melt is just too little too late. Lubu is going to sail down the mid lane here. This fort almost certainly going down here. A follow-up stun by Imperius. Is the regen going to be enough? No, ETC falls. This spells trouble. Lubu has 4 members down. This keep going down here. I think this could be game. Lubu is actually going to grab this bottom keep to try to lower the boss armor. And there they go. They're on top of the boss. Cowboy Kyle is up. 4 seconds for Cassia. But it looks like it's going to be too little too late. Lubu with the mad charge at the end of the game. There's the sound barrier. 4,000 or 5,000 health on the boss. 3,000, 1,000, and there it is. Game over. Lubu takes the series 2-1. And there it is, 15 kills to 7 for your victors. Lubu, Tassadar leading the way with that 49,000 hero damage, actually leading in all categories. Most XP, most siege, very nicely done. Cassia once again bringing the pain there for Zul'jin Distillery, but ultimately their big blow-up comp with the solo heal Uther and the ETC stuns proving to just not quite be enough to take down Lubu in those fights. And then we saw those Imperious, that insane Imperious burst damage, and Tassadar leading the way there. Very nicely played by both of our teams. GG. Looks like we're going to get an interview here with our victors Lubu. Get that loaded up. Alan Hicks, thank you very much for joining me, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you. It was a little rough after that game 1.
That was definitely a hard-fought series from our 2 teams today. Let's talk about that game 1 for a moment. We saw Braxis hold out. We saw a very heavy wave clear comp coming out from you guys versus the pick comp from XGD. What do you think? Do you think it was an issue with the comp, or did you see something else in that gameplay for game number 1?
I think it was just the issue with the comp. When you're looking at Braxis, Garrosh in particular is really strong. They banned out or took, the 2 things that really counter him, ETC and Lucio. They banned the ETC. They took the Lucio. So we couldn't keep him from just walking into the back line. The Tychus prevented me from just walking in and trying to hold the point, and it was just really a really bad matchup. I feel like we lost heavily in draft. Not that it wasn't possible to win, but it was a very big mountain to climb.
Absolutely, there. It was it was a definitely a tough game one. XGD march into victory there, but game number two, Infernal Shrines. We saw you guys make that comeback very even throughout, but making that push at the end. Talk to me a little bit about the Diablo versus Mal'Ganis matchup, because that one can be a little bit finicky.
It is. I hate when you charge in on Diablo and Mal'Ganis has just hit his, what they call it, the sleep thing is like night terror or some such.
Mm-hmm.
And you wind up queuing to him, but you go to sleep, an instant before you would hit him. And that is so very frustrating when that happens.
Yeah, we definitely saw some very interesting
That
interactions where
happened
you were able
several
to,
times, yeah.
yeah, trying to charge in on Mal'Ganis, but he was ended up facing you and you get sleeped. Other times, Mal'Ganis running away and you actually managed to land the Q. Very tough one there.
Yeah,
But
it's just some weird interaction.
ultimately, some great stuns at the end there.
Yeah, at the end we
Getting
were
the
able to we were really able to chain the CC on him, and that is really how you that's how you kill anyone, but it's really effective against him. We interrupted his ult, which is he got low and tried to throw his ult, and we wound up with a stun on that, and then we were able to just push from there and make it work.
I'm trying to remember what the 16 pick was. Do you take the overpowering nightmare on 16?
Let me grab the talents here real quick.
The double E charges?
Yeah, that's what I wound up taking there. I don't always take that. Let's see, talent 16, overpowering nightmare. Sometimes I'll take domination depending on composition and map, but overpowering nightmare, the 2 additional charges, 2 additional stuns is hard to argue against, and with feast on fear at level 1, that gives a lot more sustain. And
Very nicely done there, especially when you've got a tank like Mal'Ganis that needs stunning all the time.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. Now, Alterac Pass, we saw a pretty aggressive comp there from XGD with the solo heal Uther. Did that throw you off in draft at all, or was that something that you were prepared for?
We didn't expect it, but I wouldn't say that it threw us off. I mean, they just played Uther in the previous game, right? And we knew that we were going to have to look out for the Divine Mosh because we knew they were going to try that. So it was a scenario of, to some extent, you have to CC the Uther and CC the ETC to prevent that from happening. And that can be a little rough. You have to stay spread so that not everybody gets caught in it, and then maybe you can peel the enemy team away while everyone else is dancing. The one trouble there, we had Lucio, so you want to be kind of close to Lucio to benefit from his abilities. So it was something that we had to keep an eye on, but I wouldn't say that it necessarily threw us for a loop.
All right, well, we saw again a hard-fought battle there. Game number 3, but ultimately you come out with the win. Another 2-1 victory here in the XGD Invitational League. I believe that's the end of round 1. That's your 3 games for this round.
Yep.
So looking forward to round 2. Are there any matchups you're looking forward to? Any opponents you're looking forward to facing?
I haven't really looked at the schedule. Schedules round 2. We've got Bad Matchmaker, which is a team that we don't know. Church of Murky, which we've played before but don't really know them. Regen Ghost, we don't know those guys. Nexus Cats, we don't really know those guys. So it looks like round 1 is the round where we got to play the teams that we knew best. And so probably we're going to look at just meta bans and such in round 2 because, we don't know those teams as well. If at all.
Should be some interesting matchups there with some new teams.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
some of those were in a different division or different coast. Not sure.
Possibly. I think Bad Matchmaker's coming out of Heroes Lounge, if I recall. But yeah, definitely some mixed divisions here with our teams.
Yeah, that's always been kind of the way it is at the Zul'jin Invitational.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, as we're wrapping things up here, once again, congratulations on your win. Are there any shout outs you'd like to make before we finish up?
Absolutely, there's two. Uh, Spartacus on Imperius shouted, "I'm dead," and immediately Bandit on our team shouted, "Bot boss." And the call to go boss was magnificent, and Spotty did an amazing job stalling out his death and keeping them busy, so we could just take that boss for free, and that made the death so much more worth it. We got a lot of value out of that death because of that. They wound up taking the top boss, but it was against our fort. They didn't really have any wave pushing with it. We had the other boss pushing on their keep, so they had to respond, and we cleared that fine. I thought that was great play by both of those guys.
Definitely a lot more of a ring around the rosy up there than I expected it to be. Very nice jukes. Definitely a clippable moment. I'm going to be going back to check if someone got that later. If not, I'm going to grab that one for myself because that's a highlight moment for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for casting us. We really appreciate you, man.
All right. Well, I'm glad to do it, and good luck to you going forward.
Thank you.